overpowered nonsense. Once Teclis gets his items, there is nothing that can get in his way. And today we're going to get all 4 by turn 15, set up 2 provinces, including a 4 settlement province in Lustria, a foothold in Ulthuan, and while we're at it, let's try to get Emmerich as well. Welcome to Elven Plot Armor, and this is the 15 turn guide to get all of Teclis' items and set up a strong empire in Lustria. Starting off a brand new legendary campaign, let's go to the starter and we will demolish that barracks. We're going to need that for something else. Okay, that's one of the big issues you can have in this campaign, is this first area revolting, and we're going to set ourselves up so this area never revolts and we can just set and forget. So first step, we're going to get our Lawmaster and put him in Teclis' army. We're now stronger than this Skaven army here. We're going to attack them and they'll always fall back because they're scared of you. Don't chase them down, instead we're going to adopt ambush stance. Research archery prowess, and then that's the first turn done. Now over the end turn, this is the most important part. Well, there's several important parts. One thing is, if you adopt ambush stance and you successfully pull it off, you will be able to get 3 levels instead of just 1 level. If you want a powerful caster, he needs levels, and I really do recommend, there we go, we got the ambush, awesome. But I really do recommend, if you don't get this ambush, if the ambush fails, just restart your campaign and just replicate those first couple of moves. I can't be bothered fighting it, so we're just going to auto-resolve. Yay, we want the money. Start of turn number 2. So it's important that we try to eliminate as many enemies as we can as soon as we can, but there's certain ones we need to keep alive to be able to get our quest items. Here's our first one, 2 fights against the Dark Elves. We'll do that later. Lokhir will always sail a black arc up here. It's empty, ignore it, it can't threaten you. It's just attention seeking. So your first step is, give Teclis Route Marcher before you move him. Okay, you need to do this before you move him. Now, once you've done that, go for your Lawmaster. We want to be working our way towards Earthblood because your Lawmaster should be your healer. You don't need life mages, you have Lawmasters. And of course, we're going to attack this guy now. Now, the best thing about defeating him with the ambush is he has to fall back here. So we're now going to get a second fight after the ambush, and then once we've done this, the settlement garrison here won't be eliminated. So we then get to fight the beat up settlement garrison for a third. Alright, so we're going to fight this on the field. What we're going to do is have our army up the back here, because this is just too good to say no to. It's going to maximize our artillery. What we're going to do is use our eagle to scout ahead and try to let off as much magic as we can onto their lords, and using the eagle as a scout, because a lot of these Skaven guys have Stalk. Just remember to weave back and forth with your eagle. We're going to get a cheeky charge into him. Make sure you get that other fireball on him. There we go. Run! There we go. Now, if you're uncomfortable with the battles, you can auto-resolve that one, but as you'll notice, you might look at this result and go, why are your characters so beat up? Well, the good thing is, next turn, we've already unlocked it, we'll get Earthblood, and we can heal these characters back up to full strength. Getting units of men built back up, that can take several more turns, so this is all about trying to keep our balance of power high, so the pirates leave us alone. Now, we need to start moving towards Chain Lightning. Okay, let's attack the next settlement, and I'm just going to auto-resolve this. There we go. We have a quest that requires Skaven defeat, so we need to keep this alive to be able to get that. That's one of our items, so just sack it. And with that one, we're just going to throw Teclis in and camp stance to get a little bit of replenishment, and we are now going to get Chain Lightning. And again, just keep leveling up Earthblood to level 3, it's just too good not to do. Last of all, we need to go to our capital here, and we are now going to build a noble building. We want to build the noble, and then we'll trash that building. End turn. Start of turn 3, we're going to fight this next battle, and it does need to be on the map because after the fight is what's important. We're going to heal our single entities back up to full health. And fighting this one on the field, we're just going to have our bolt thrower back here. Always make sure your bolt thrower is on multi-shot. Pretty much a rule of thumb. Now this is the most important part of the fight. Lawmaster, Eagle and Teclis all together. Overcast, Earthblood. I call this the group huddle, so it's like the after, good job lads. Have some healing. So these guys, this is all you do at the end of your fights. So we sack the settlement this turn because our next item requires us to win 2 Skaven battles. So that was the first, we'll occupy it next turn. But in the meanwhile, we're going to get Teclis to run back, just back over this line. This is back into our territory, so you can recruit 3 archers. Cool. And look at our health. We healed most of it back up. Next battle, we'll be back up to full health. Go for rights, and we're going to get the Invocation of Assyrian. It's going to help our public order and give us some really nice influence that we can also use. End turn. Start of turn 4. We are going to attack, and this time take the Flaming Serpent, completing our first quest item. Let's get into it. And occupied, and we have just earned our first item. And there we are, the Moonstaff of Liliath. And this increases our regrowth ability, hence why we got a point in that. And now we want 2 points in Net of Amentok for its pinning abilities. Lastly, we're going to hire 3 archers. And we're going to use the Growth Edict in our primary province. End turn. Start of turn number 5. We've got our next quest issued. We'll get to that, it'll happen. Our next goal is to end up in the Star Tower at the end of this turn, right? But we don't want to take the land route. Look at this, you can't reach it. So what instead we're going to do is first move yourself down a little bit, and the pathfinding should take you there. Now this Black Arc, it's not in flat out stance, but if it's close enough that if we try and it pushes back, we can still make it home. So that's okay. If he's out here somewhere, don't try it. Get in the turn after. Like, rather than declare war, always have a look at diplomacy, see if you can join a war and get a bit of a diplomatic edge on things. So here we go, let's go and attack him. Declare war, yes.
Destroy them.
He will certainly run. Oh no! Well, isn't that nice? I've had him run away before, but I'm gonna take this. Cool. So just remember the Black Arc can rain down artillery shells on you, so keep everyone really far apart because we are probably going to get hit by one of these. And lastly, we just have to hire a noble now, so do not hire them from the Star Tower, make sure you get them from the Flaming Serpent because it's closer to Ulthuan. So let's just find anyone, he'll do, great. And we're just going to click up, aim for the volcano or thereabouts. That's Calador right there, and that's our first stop. We get them, and then we get Imric, and we're just going to now trash this Elven Gardens. We're going to replace that with Public Order, go back to the Star Tower, replenish, as well as hire ourselves 3 more archers. Start at turn 6, we've now got our first defeat for the Dark Elves. We're going to give them their second very soon in the form of beating Lokhir. So we know that he's here because over the end turn he wiped out Clan Festa, so he has to be there, and he always is. Initially my first design for this run was to go through the water and then get Chupayotl. Big mistake. It's tempting because that's got the gold mine there, but there's a chance that he'll end up moving up this way and he'll backdoor that province. So this is the safe way of going about it. Build the Public Order building just to get things stabilised, get ourselves working on our spearmen, and we're now going to make ourselves basically some bait, which is going to be our army for Lokhir Felheart. But here's the deal, when you deploy on the land, for some reason you still take attrition sometimes. There's this sweet spot just here, right? You'll be safe if you land there. Like, not safe from Lokhir, but that's not the point. So we're going to end the turn, and he's almost certainly going to attack us. And this allows us to separate him from his garrison. And as predicted, this is far more preferable than attacking him in the garrison where he has reinforcements. Let's do this. So of course we're fighting this one on the battlefield. It depends on your starting Winds of Magic. If you got really poor Winds of Magic, you can go in this rear corner here and then nest up there, keeping Teclis and your eagle up here to bait and stretch them apart. On the other hand, what you can do is also just go super aggressive if you do have good Winds of Magic, which we do, so we're just going to try and really get the initiative here and put the herd on. Cool, okay, so Net of Amentok on Lokhir. Control M, get your entire army to shoot on him, beat him down. Moving infantry up. There we go, shred, 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 nice. Now, same deal with the Manticore. These are the 2 biggest problems, or sources of problems in your in this battle. And now, in the opposite corner, get your archers to fire. Other than winning, the most important thing is take out all of the single entities, so the monster and the 2 characters. Also, we're going to replenish our units because we've got one more fight to do and we don't want to take any chances. Rolling into turn 7, we've now managed to complete our second quest item, defeating 2 Dark Elf armies. And that gives us the Scroll of Hoeth, just reduces our cooldown on all of our spells, very useful. And we basically won that battle with no losses, just following the exact same formula as we did before, and of course we're going to occupy it. And now we have them really on the ropes, they've only got 1 settlement left. So let's have a look at what we can build. We are going to go for Public Order, and in our main province here we're going to upgrade, and of course Public Order again. And last up, we're just going to check the diplomacy of the lizardmen here. So these guys tend to be at war with each other, and here's the deal. Itza might take Oxyl here, and we want that. That's the capital for our 4-settlement province, which will create the economic backbone of our Lustrian base here. So we want that province. So we might have to declare war on him. So a non-aggression pact will get in the way of that. But the cult of Sotek here, I'm quite happy to sign a non-aggression with him. Why not? Things are good with us at the moment, so... And if the thing is, if we just let that degrade, we might end up with too many fronts, because we do want to do some confederation into Ulthuan, of course. Starting turn number 8, we are now working on our 3rd quest item, and that requires us to use the Invocation of Isha, so let's just get that out of the way. It will reduce any attrition we might otherwise take, unlikely to happen now, but... And we're now going to just right-click, and just march straight on Chupayotl. Oxyl is still not under siege, meaning it's still up for grabs, and his balance of power is very weak, which is excellent. Lastly, we are just going to get our public order building upgraded, and that's that for this turn. Start of turn 9, and now it's kind of cool because I'm able to show both what happens when things go good and bad here at the same time, and I'm going to show you a really good trick to gear Teclis' faction ability into your favour. So what's happened here is he's done what, the reason why we don't come down this way first, is he's had an army sneak up and take that. Now the way we could have got around that earlier is we could have just sacked the marks of the old one and then run and destroyed that army. That's what you should have done. It would put you one turn behind, but you wouldn't have this happen. I actually wanted this to happen so I can show you a really, really good trick. What we're going to do is we're going to pretend this army's not here, but I'm also going to deal with that army in subsequent turns. So going to Chupayotl. And they've got no lords, you should win that quite easily regardless, and we're just going to occupy that. Alright, now this is the part where your run can really take quite a different stretch, right? Now, here you can see the Blessed Dread have taken the Mangrove coast. That's quite unusual from what I've tested with. Usually, Clan Pestilence still have that. Now, depending how good they are doing, depends on whether you want to recruit here or not. If you see they've got a supporting army there, they might also have a supporting army here, because Clan Pestilence own this capital here. So if you see a second army that's quite strong here, absolutely raise some units here because you're going to need them. I can see right now that I'm only going to have to attack him and I can easily take that, so I'm going to save that money. But otherwise, if this looks busy down here, hire yourself 3 units, but be ready to disband them because we've got a trick we need to do when Teclis turns level 10. Start of turn number 10, we've got our noble coming up here and we are going to go back to our capital and we should be able to build our next public order building. We'll deal with that in just one moment. Now, here's another little trick that you can use. If you try to go over the land, you can't make it, it's marshy. We're going to just take one, dip our toes in the water, and then we can easily rush this settlement here. And this will leave them out of settlement. Now, this is one of the most important parts for this run, which is going to be how we are going to manage to get Teclis' 3rd item without having to send ourselves broke, because what it requires is at the time we turn level 10, the next turn we get issued a quest, and that quest will be to earn a certain amount of cash. Start of turn 11 and right on cue, we've received this quest because last turn we reached level 10. Now this is where we have to amass a treasury, it's just your current bank account plus say 3 grand more. Now what this means is that we need to make sure that at any given time we need to only have 17 units, because it's not when you end the turn, it's the moment that your bank account reaches this amount. So as soon as you sack a settlement, win a battle and go over that amount, it will then issue the quest based on your current unit cap plus 3. Walk around with 17 units unless something really horrible is happening. So with Teclis we're going to march on Oxyl and there's no Itza there, so we could be in luck. It's quite common for them to beat you there, but that's the reason why we have an allied. If it really bugs you, you can attack them afterwards, but this is ideal if you can actually keep them on side and make a border with them and just occupy this. It allows you to put your pressure north. Start of turn 12 and we've kicked off with a dilemma. We can get 25 influence, which we will need for a confederation very shortly. We're about to do this battle, so we're just checking. So the moment that we tip over to 14,000, we've currently got 11.8. As usual, rather than declaring war, see if you can join someone else's war for a bit of political favour. These guys are at war with them, so let's just try to trade a trade deal as well as an non-aggression pact for joining this war that we were going to do anyway. Sweet, good. But the good thing is, we've managed to get this settlement, so that's awesome. As previously mentioned, we're going to be doing some confederating soon, so that means we need to keep our balance of power high, which means no losses. And ladies and gentlemen, we have just won ourselves a brand new capital for a 4 settlement province. We could have sacked it and definitely got the quest knocked off and got our hands on the item, and I didn't really want to de-level it by having to sack it. Now we need to achieve another, say, $500 across the end turn. Guess how we can do that? Trade. Let's just uncover Calador. Just a little bit. There we are. There he is. Cool. Now let's go and meet the man himself. Cool. Okay, so let's do the meet and greet around the circle. So Tyrion. Good stuff. We join their war and then just non-aggression. Cool. Now that we've instigated diplomacy with Calador, we can now start to work out our little trick here to get the most powerful item that he has. The issue is that you need a Shrine of Assyrian. That's a tier 3 building, right? Same as Barracks. If you want a Silver and Guard, steal someone else's. We're going to get Calador. Calador always build one. They always seem to build these 3 buildings, but now that they're tier 3, they're going to build the Shrine of Assyrian. So we need to keep one eye on these guys and be ready to confederate once they've got that, which will knock this quest off and give us the battle. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that's it. End turn. Starting off turn number 13, we managed to amass the treasury that we needed, which is great, and we'd be given the new quest, and there we go. So it's the current unit count plus 3 more. So that's why we don't go above 17 units, because we would need to raise another stack and then attract the supply lines. In the capital here, we're going to build, we want a new noble as soon as possible. And over the end turn, we saw Skrolk move around here and go into ambush stance, so I'm thinking I might stay still. Also, this means we might lose units, so we're going to get 2 more spearmen and 1 more archer. Get the Invocation of all, and we're going to give them some gifts. We're just going to give them 1, 2, 3, 5. Also, because times were tough, we had to disband our noble. If you can hold on to him, keep him right here so we can observe Fool's Amble. Start of turn 14, we've managed to meet the requirement of getting 20 units in our army by recruiting a full stack, and there we go, we're up to now the quest battle itself. I'll show you this trick that I was going to show you before, so we ended up using it after all. So at the moment we've got a garrison and it needs a leader to really work, so what we're going to do now is we're just going to hire a fire mage, and we're basically gearing the ability that the Order of Lawmasters get to hire with +6 recruit rank, and that increases as well with Teclis. So, and here we go. Burning Head, Kindle Flame. This poor gentleman here failed his ambush attempt.
Destroy them.
Oh, and he's running. We'll run him down and then just run back. Let's just see what the balance of power looks like first. So he's still a little bit more. Let's take this guy down. We've got really high ambush percentage chance. Let's just sit here and ambush stance and see what happens. God damn. Oh, I took a risk and I'm paying the price. This might set our Confederation back a little bit.
Pace! We go! We advance! Onward! Oh, Assyrian guides us!
Alright, this should be over. Alright, turn 15. Well, we might as well finish these guys off. Is that all I've got left? And we've occupied it, so I wouldn't recommend really going past Oxyl. And the reason why I did is if you do, there's a cool trick you can do here, because all rebellions will spawn at the capital here, right? So the rebellion's going to appear here, but this one will also rebel because it's the only settlement in the province we own. So you can kind of ping pong and bash up a couple of rebellions that will keep on spawning every few turns for the foreseeable future. So great way to get some extra levels on Teclis. Oh, you like us, you just don't like the balance of power. We're just a bit weak for you now, aren't we? So over the end turn we have been attacked by Lokhir, and we've got our Crisis Mage. She's not just level 1 with Viable, she's level 6. Quite easily done. It's just Burning Head is overpowered essentially. You can take out entire units and it's a great equalizer. Turn 16, we've got a revolt here. Let's go beat it up. Okay, let's have a look at the balance of power. Looking at Calador. Oh, will we do it? Not yet. Now we're just going to try and get this Confederation by incrementally hiring troops and hoping that pushes the balance of power over what they might accept. We've got horse archers actually, let's get some flexibility. Cool. This lady, let's go those two. Cool, alright, will they deal with this now?
Our great king welcomes.
They did. There we go. We've got eyes on Nimerick.
Bang.
So the reason why we got that is have a look at Calador. Looking at the capital, Shrine of Assyrian. So we just let him build it, and then we took it. One reason why we also give them so much to start off with, it means they're guaranteed to be able to afford the military, and they can afford their constructions. And something I would definitely recommend is deconstructing that, and we're going to get ourselves instead a Mage Tower. And there we are, turn 16. It was a turn later than we would have ideally liked, but that's still fine. That's all 4 items. The Teclis Masterclass is coming out in the next couple of days, and that'll have how to do all of these quest battles, as well as lots of tips and tricks, and the overall rating for the faction as it scales against everyone else. And that's pretty much it for this guide. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Please consider subscribing and liking Elven Plot Armor, and I will catch you guys soon. Cheers.